Slava Isusa Christus, Slava Navika. Glory be to Jesus Christ, glory be forever. It's Father Basil again, doing another podcast. And throughout this month of May, which we're about 2/3 of the way through this month already, I've been talking about Mary, the Mother of God, the different aspects of her life, and the prayers towards Mary, and I talked about the Rosary, and I talked about Malebens and Akathists, and just how we can honor Mary throughout our life. And we're going to continue that theme today for the next, till the end of the month probably. And today I'm going to talk about what is a scapular or patamen. In ancient days, the servants of a person of some distinction wore liveries or special garbs, whereby they were distinguished from the household of other masters. In the course of centuries, the Church adopted special garments for those who dedicated themselves to the service of Christ, or His Holy Mother Mary. This is the origin of the scapular or patamen. At first, it was a garment made of 2 strips of cloth put over the head so that one fell in front and one behind. It was usually the width of the shoulders and reached the ankles. Such a scapular is still regarded as a distinctively monastic part of many religious habits, symbolizing by its shape the yoke of Christ of His Mother. The Church enriched with many indulgences and other spiritual benefits those religious orders which adopted such scapulars in honor of Christ or His Mother. Numerous laymen wished to share in these privileges without formally belonging to a religious order, which enjoyed them because not all are called to become religious or nuns, or at least not all were willing to give up a worldly career and enter the monastic life. Yet they loved the Blessed Virgin Mary and wished to become her clients and sharers in the spiritual benefits attached to the scapular. The vicars of Christ, yielding to the earnest petitions of the faithful, extended the privileges and benefits of the scapular to lay people who, although living in the world, were willing to be affiliated with the order enjoying the benefits of the scapular. As a token of their affiliation to an order, they received the little scapular of the order to which they were affiliated. One part of that miniature scapular is worn on the breast, and the other on the back, with strings or bands passing over the shoulders. Such a scapular gives its wearer a share in the merits, prayers, and spiritual benefits of the religious order of which it is the badge. The person may wear his scapular under the clothing or over it. The same person was allowed to become affiliated with various religious orders, and thus become partaker of all their spiritual patrimony. Upon his affiliation, he received the scapular of that order. Since the spiritual benefits and indulgences annexed to the scapular are great and numerous, it became a general practice to unite the most widely known scapulars and impose them on the same person, making him a share in the prayers and other good works of various religious orders. The practice of wearing scapulars spread rapidly throughout the Catholic world. Persons from all walks of life wear them: the Pope, the cardinals, bishops, priests, and lay people. So, what are some of the most known or popular scapulars? Among various scapulars, the following are the most important and generally known by the Catholics of the world: Scapular of the Blessed Trinity, Scapular of Mary Sorrowful, Scapular of the Immaculate Conception, and Scapular of Mount Carmel. The Scapular of Mount Carmel. This scapular is the best known in the world over because of the many favors promised by Our Lady to those who piously wear it. It is brown in color and often ornamented with pictures, which, however, are not essential. It owes its origin to Saint Simon Stock, an English Carmelite. Simon gave up his wealth and became a Carmelite in the year 1195. In 1245, he was made Superior General of the order. In 1251, the Blessed Virgin appeared to him. She was in the company of many angels. While the saint admired the beauty of the Mother of God, she approached him and gave him a brown scapular, saying, "My son, receive this scapular for thy order. It is a token of thy privilege that I have obtained from my son Jesus, for thee and thy Carmelite confreres. He who dies invested with a scapular will be spared the fire of hell. It is also a guarantee of salvation, a powerful help in dangers, and an assurance of special protection and peace until the end of the world." The saint published the vision and the special privileges attached to the Carmelite scapular, especially the promise made by the Blessed Virgin to free from purgatory those who wore the scapular and preserve the chastity of their state of life. The whole world was moved by such a privilege. Thus the scapular of Mount Carmel spread rapidly through all Catholic countries. So I remember growing up, this scapular, this brown scapular, the scapular of Mount Carmel, my parents would give to me. And I still actually have one that I have throughout my life. So a brown scapular of Mount Carmel. And what are the spiritual advantages of the scapulars? The scapulars have a divine origin. They are special gifts of Christ and His Mother to poor humans who live in the midst of the world and its dangers. They need protection and help to lead a good Christian life, avoid occasions of sin, and save their souls. The scapulars secure Mary's help and protection for those who piously and worthily wear them. There are many spiritual advantages that come to anyone who wears the scapulars. In life, the wearer of the scapular or the scapulars shares in all good works, penances, prayers, and sacrifices of the order or orders to which he is affiliated through the scapular. He enjoys the fruit of their good works by belonging to their order. He belongs also to the four great confraternities and gains all the indulgences granted in them. He may gain a plenary indulgence every Wednesday and every first Sunday of the month. So there are 5 plenary indulgences to be gained every month under the general conditions. Besides, a plenary indulgence can be gained almost on all feasts of our Lord and Our Lady. There are also many partial indulgences. The wearer of the Mount Carmel scapular is a beloved son or daughter of the Mother of God. She takes them under her special protection in life at the hour of death and after death. In death, the wearer of at least one of the 4 scapulars gains a plenary indulgence at the moment of his death. If he wears a scapular of Mount Carmel, the Blessed Virgin takes him under her special protection at that terrible moment of man's life, in which his eternal destiny is decided forever. After death, common to all 4 scapulars, the rite of the privileged altar for the priests who wear at least one of these scapulars. The wearer of the Carmelite scapular has 3 advantages. He shares in the prayers that the Carmelite monks and nuns say every day for the deceased. His salvation is secured if he dies vested in the brown scapular, because Our Lady told St. Simon Stock that the wearers of the scapular would persevere in the state of sanctifying grace, or at least they would regain it before death. And thus all those who piously wear this particular scapular would be preserved from the eternal fire of hell. They enjoy the Sabbatine privilege. The Sabbatine privilege is a pious belief, sanctioned by the Holy See, that those who have worn the brown scapular observe chastity according to their state, abstain from the flesh meat on every Wednesday and Saturday, or daily performed some good work in honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and otherwise led a virtuous life, will after death profit particularly by the intercession of Our Lady, especially on Saturday. It is also believed that such persons would be freed from purgatory on the first Saturday after their death through the special intercession of the Mother of God. Many temporal advantages must be added to these spiritual benefits, secured by those who piously wear the scapulars, such as temporal blessings, helps in various circumstances of life, and liberation from misfortunes. And then a scapular medal is a blessed medal which may be worn instead of any of the small woolen scapulars. It bears on one side the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and on the other side one of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The scapular medal has been authorized in 1910 as a substitute for one or all of the small scapulars. Investiture in any scapular cannot be done with the medal. A real scapular must be used. When a medal is replaced by a new one, it must be blessed. If the medal is used in place of more than one scapular, a blessing must be given for each. The priest who blesses the medals must have faculties to invest in the corresponding scapular. The scapular medal may be worn or carried in any manner around the neck, or on the wrist, or with the rosary. It is highly commended to say some prayers every day for the intention of the scapulars, and to kiss them often in the morning, at night, and in time of temptation. So, after reading this from this book, My Divine Friend, in some ways, in our Eastern tradition, the scapular is like an icon. The scapular reminds us of that blessing of the Mother of God that she gives to us every single day. So, wearing a scapular or a crucifix or a medal of a saint medal, I think is a reminder of, that we are Christians, that we are protected by the Mother of God, that she's going to give our prayers to Jesus every single day of our life if we truly put faith in her, if we truly put faith in Mother Mary. So, some people don't like wearing things around their neck. I got used to it as a priest, wearing a cross. I've worn scapulars in my life, and I should be wearing them, underneath my clothes every day because I have them. So these scapulars, I know that the woolen ones, unfortunately, because when you work throughout the day, and especially when it's hot in the summer, when you sweat, they get damaged. But wearing a scapular, wearing a cross, wearing a medal, I think reminds us again of who we are as Christians, that we belong to God. We don't belong to anyone else. And I think that's a good way to show others of our Christianity. God bless you. Have a good day.